Hello guys, my name is Devin. My YouTube channel is DRG Brothers, and welcome to another learning video. Today we're going to be talking about exponents. So first, to start off with, what are exponents? Well, exponents, like if we had a number 2 here, exponents are it's a number or a variable like on top, like that. And this would mean that there are 2 copies of 2, which is 4. Right? Like for example, 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. That's the basic idea of what an exponent is. And they really come and help in algebra and other things when you have like x to the power of something, or maybe like 3 to the x power, stuff like that. So, what we can do is we can use these two. So there's something known as the addition rule. Although strangely it works with multiplication. Don't ask me how. But if we have, like, first say x cubed times x to the 4th, that's x to the 7th. Okay? And we have, it's 3 copies of x, and we're adding that to 4 copies of x using the multiplication symbol. And 3 plus 4 is 7. So we have that. Okay, so next, guys, I want to show you something pretty cool. It's known as exponential growth. So we're going to make a table here, and this is for the function of 2 to the power of x. Okay? So this is going to be fx, and this is x. So we're going to have all these values for x. So we're going to do -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. We'll just do those for now. And then we're also going to have our formula. So we're going to do these now. So 2 to the -3 power is 1/8. And these fractions might not make sense to you for a little bit, but trust me, they will momentarily. -2 is 1/4, and -1 is 1/2. 0 is obviously 0. 1 is 2, 2 is 4, and 3 is 8. Notice how we have an exponential growth here. If we were to plot this on a graph, so we have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That ought to be good enough. But so if we have this graph, we can plot our points on it. So we have this point, this point, this point. Oh, sorry, no, 0 is 1. And again, that'll be explained momentarily. Boom, boom, boom. And then the next point would be somewhere around here. And you'll see we have this kind of like a curve. Like that, you see? And that curve is going to get steeper. Now, here's a fun fact about this. This section over here, it looks like it's getting smaller, right? But it will never cross the y-axis. Or sorry, no, the x-axis. It will never cross it. It will never go below 0. That's why it's really cool. Okay, so now to the part where we explain these fractions. Now, I'm going to first explain why 0 would be 1. And here's why. Using that addition multiplication equation we did earlier, we can write something of this sort. We can either choose to make this law a true law or not. And in this case, we're going to choose it to be true, and that's going to help us solve our problem. And here's how we want to do that. We're going to write our own equation, x to the n, where n is just any number, times x to the 0 equals x to the n. And so by our previous rule, If this is true, then that means that x to the 0 has to be 1, because otherwise x to the n would be different. Now keep in mind, this only works if n is a positive number. So what would we do if n were negative? Okay, so this next equation will also prove the fractions. This is our fraction equation. So we're going to write a different equation. It's going to be x to the n times x to the minus n is equal to x to the 0. Okay? Now, here's how this would work. This one takes a little bit more thought than the first one. We're going to divide both sides of our equation by x over n, and these cancel out. So we're left with x to the minus n is equal to x0 over x to the n. But we've already proven up here that x to the 0 is 1. So we can write x to the minus n is 1 over x to the n. That's how it works. And it's really, really cool. Alright, there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and then we're going to wrap up here. So, we can have exponents like x1, x to the half even, but actually we can't do that, sorry. But what would we do if we have like decimals? What if we had to solve x to the 0.2 power? How on earth would we calculate that? It's actually kind of simple. The first thing we want to do is write this as a fraction. So x to the 2/10 power. Okay, then we're going to suck the 2 out of this essentially, and we're going to be left with x 1/10 with 2. Okay? And now we can transfer this into the 10th root of x squared. That's how we do it. So now I'm going to give this as the final problem. I'm going to extend this a little bit so you guys can have your own thinking. How would we solve this? I'll give you a moment. Okay, let's work through the solution. So, as before, we're going to want to turn it into a fraction. So x to the 23rd 100ths. Okay? Which means that we would have x 1 over 100th, 23. Which means that this can be transferred to the 100th root of x to the 23rd power. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a semi-complicated topic. If you don't get it right away, make sure to rewatch this video. Also, like and subscribe and help us get to 20 subscribers. Bye, guys.